Today I'm going to teach you a lesson on the tempest. The tempest is about what is the tempest? Means it is a storm. This is a play by William Shakespeare, but a duke who uses magic to seek revenge and restore himself to power. Now, Prospero lives in an island. He lives in exile on an island with his daughter Miranda. After his brother Antonio observes the dukedom, a ship carrying citizens of several kingdoms, including Antonio, wrecks on Prospero's island. Now, this is an extract which appears close to the beginning of the play. A terrible storm is raging. Now, let's go from the first page. A terrible storm is raging and a ship is caught in the storm. Miranda pleads with Prospero to use his magical powers to calm the storm because she fears for the lives of the people who are on board the ship. Prospero refuses and begins to tell her the truth about their past. Now, a terrible storm is raging. Now, the storm and the ship is caught up in the storm. Now, Miranda, she cries for help from Prospero to use his magical powers to calm the storm or to stop the storm because there are many people on board who may die. So let us start reading the chapter. Now let's go to Prospero. Prospero, no harm, I have done nothing but in care of thee, O thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art not knowing. So what he's trying to tell her here, he said, I have done nothing over here, but he's saying you are ignorant about what, you don't know anything about my past. Oh, whence I am know that I am more better than Prospero, master of a full poor cell, and thy no greater father. He said, I'm not a very good father also to you. Now, Miranda, more to know, did never meddle with my thoughts. Miranda says, I'm coming to know more, but I never meddle. Meddle means I did not mix up my thoughts about anything like that. Prospero tells her, it's time. I should inform thee, father. Father means F-A-R-T-H-A-R, more. Lend thy hand, give me your hand, and pluck my magic garment from me. So give me your hand and take the magic garment from me. So it's time for me to tell you more. Help me to take my magic cloak off. He said, it's time for me to tell you more, so help me to take up the magic cloak. And then he lays down his mantle. What is the mantle? Mantle means the loose piece of clothing worn over other clothes. Lie there, my heart. Wipe thou thine eyes. Wipe your eyes. Have some comfort. The direful spectacle of the wreck which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee. He said, because of the storm, the shipwreck and all this, and you have compassion, means you're feeling sorry for other people. I have with such provision in my art, so safely ordered that there is no soul, no not much perdition. Perdition means punishment that lasts forever after death, after you die. As an hair, biddeth to any creature in the vessel, which thou heardest say, cry, which thou sawest sink, sit down. But thou must now know further, you must know more things, and I will tell you more things. Let's go back to the next page. Miranda, you have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped and left me to a bootless inquisition. Now, Miranda has told him that you have many times tried to tell me a lot of things, but then you have stopped to a bootless inquisition, means useless series of questions. Concluding, stay, not yet, means I have told you so much, but I'll tell you later more. It's like that. Prospero, the hours now come, the very minute bids thee ope thine ear. He said, open your ears. The minute has come, the hour has come. Obey and be attentive. Listen to what I say and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came unto this cell? I do not think thou canst, for then thou wast not over 3 years old. That you were 3 years old. Melinda, certainly, sir, I can. Prospero, by what? By any other house or person or anything that the image tells me that had or had kept with thy remembrance. So, do you remember anything? When you were 3 years old? After they were telling you a lot of things. Melinda, that's far off, or this far off, and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants. See, it's more like a dream than an assurance. Assurance, something somebody is telling you, guaranteeing you that her remembrance warrants that I had not 4 or 5 women once that tended me. 4 or 5 women that tended her means looked after her. Prospero, thou hadst, and more, Miranda. But how was it? So Prospero said you had more women taking care of you. That this life in thy mind, what seest thou else? So what do you see? What else do you see in your mind about this life? In the dark backward, an abysm of time. Abysm means a gulf, means a bridge. Yeah, 12 years since, Miranda, 12 years since, thy father was the Duke of Milan, a prince of power. He said, your father was the Duke of Milan. He was the prince of power. Miranda, sir, are not you my father? So Miranda says, aren't you my father? Prospero, thy mother was a piece of virtue, and she said thou wast my daughter, and thy father was Duke of Milan. So Prospero is telling her that her mother was a very pure lady, and she said that Prospero Miranda was his daughter, and thy father was Duke of Milan, and thou his only heir, and princess no worse issued. Miranda, oh the heavens, what foul play had we, that we came from thence. So Miranda is saying, what foul play? What is it? What's going on here? That we came from there. Oh blessed, wasn't we did? Was there what we did? Prosper, both, my girl. By foul play, as thou sayest, we are heaped hence. So Prospero says you are saying foul play. So you see both of them. But blessedly, Holp hitter. Now Holp hitter is to help to reach this place. Let's go back next page. Oh, my heart bleeds to think of the teen that I have turned you to, which is from my remembrance. Please, you, Father. Prospero, my brother and thy uncle, called Antonio. I pray thee, mark me, that the brother should be so peridifficious. Now, peridifficious means deceitful. His brother and Miranda's uncle was a deceitful man. Means he was not an honest man. He was a deceitful fellow. He whom next thyself of all the world I loved, and put him and to him put the manage of my state. He said, I kept him in charge of the state, to manage the state. And as that time, through all the signories, means provinces or territory, which he was managing when Prospero was not there. It was the first, and Prospero, the prime duke, being so reputed. St. Prospero was a very reputed person. Now, in dignity and for all the liberal arts, without a parallel, those being all my study. The government I cast upon my brother, the government that I gave to my brother to look after, and to my state grew stranger, being transported. The, the government and the state started growing stranger and wrapped in secret studies. Thy false uncle, thou dost thou attend me. See, the false uncle, Antonio, he was secret studies means they were planning things against the king. Yeah. Now Mirinda, Sir, most heedfully, Prospero, being once perfect how to grant suits, how to deny them, who to advance and who to trash overtopping, new created, the creatures that were mine, I say, or change them. So Prospero is saying, being once perfect and how to grant suits, how to deny them, how to who to advance and who to advance means to go after, and who to trash means to beat up or to kill. For overtopping, new created the creatures that were mine, I say, or change them, or else new form them, M, having both the key of officer and office, set all the hearts in the state. To what tune pleased his ear, that now he was the ivy. Ivy means a kind of a poison which had hit my princely trunk and sucked my verdure out. Thou attend not. Let's go to the next page. Prospero, I pray thee, mark me. I thus neglecting worldly ends. Saying, I pray and remember what I am praying. Mark me means to remember. I am neglecting worldly ends. I don't want anything from the world. All dedicated to closeness and the bettering of my mind. With that which, but by being so retired, over the prized, over all popular rate in my false brother. He said, I trusted my brother, but in the end, he deceived me, he deceived me, awaked an evil nature in his brother, and my trust, like a good parent, did beget of him. He trusted him. A falsehood in his contrary, as great as my trust was, which had indeed no limit. So he's saying he trusted his brother so much that he never mistrusted him. But what his brother did was deceived him. A confident sense bound, he being thus lauded, not only with what my revenue yielded, which revenue means what the money they earned, but what my power might also exact. But also with his power, that power was given to his brother. What did he do with that power? He misused it. Like one who, having into truth by telling of it, made such a sinner of his memory. He made a sinner of himself because he sinned against his brother by deceiving him. To credit his own lie, he did believe he was indeed the duke out of the substitution. So his brother Antonio thought that he was the duke because Prospero had left him in charge and he did not come for a long time. So his brother became greedy and thought that he was the duke of the substitution. Substitution means he was doing the substitution and executing the outward face of royalty with all prerogative. Hence his ambition growing. His brother's ambition kept growing. To have no screen between this part, he played. And him, he played it for, he needs will be absolute Milan. Me, poor man, my library was dukedom large enough of temporal royalties. He said, I had a kingdom, my library, he's talking with library means the kingdom, the dukedom, because they were dukes. He said it was large enough of temporal royalties. He thinks me now incapable. So his brother thinks now Prospero is incapable. He cannot do anything. He cannot rule. Now confederates, so dry he was for sway, we the king of Nepal's, to give him annual tribute to do homage, subject his coronet to to his crown, and bend the dukedom yet unbowed, alas, poor Milan, to most ignoble stooping. Ignoble means not good or honest. Now Mirinda, oh the heavens, Prospero, mark his condition and the event. Then tell me if this might be a brother. Mirinda, I should sin to think but nobly of my grandmother. Good wombs have borne bad sons. My grandmother was a good lady, but she had borne bad sons. She had bad sons. She has some good sons, she has some bad sons. Prospero, now the condition, the king of Naples, being an enemy to me, invertebrate, hearkened my brother's suit, which was that he, in lieu of the premises of homage, and I know not much how much tribute, should presently expropriate me and mine out of the dukedom and confirm fair Milan with all the honors on my brother, wherein a treacherous army levied one midnight, fated to the purpose that Antonio opened the gates of Milan and the dead of darkness. So a treacherous army one day, at midnight, fated for the purpose that Antonio opened the gates of Milan in the dead of the darkness. The ministers for the purpose hurried hence, me and thy crying self. And the Mirinda crying, Mirinda, alack for pity, I not remembering how I cried out then. Mirinda said, yes, I don't remember how I cried out then. We'll cry it over and over again. It is a hint that rings mine eyes to it. Rings meaning over here is squeezes out. When you squeezes out the tears from her eyes. Prospero, hear a little further, hear a little further, and then I'll bring thee to the present business. It's in hear more of my past, and then we'll talk about the present, what is happening. Which now upon, without the which the story were most impertinent, means it was rude and not showing respect, impertinent. When Mirinda, whereof did they not that are destroyers? So she's asking Prospero, did they, didn't they destroy us? Prospero, well, demanded wench. My tale provokes that question. My story provokes the question. My story wants to know that question. So dear, the love my people bore me, nor set a mark so bloody on the business. But, he said, the people that loved him and bore means saved him, and the mark so bloody, bloody means blood, blood all over the place, but with colors fairer, pointed the foul ends. If they saw the foul ends means the deceit and the deceit of his brothers, of his brother. In few, they hurried us about aboard a bark, a ship. A bark is a ship. Bore us some leagues to sea where they prepared. They put us on a ship and they took us to another place. A rotten carcass of a boat. Carcass means dead, dead something. Uh, yes, old or dead, whatever you want to say. So, of a boat, not rigged, no tackle, sail, no mast. The very rats instinctively had quit it. Said the boat was such that had no mast, no sail. Even the rats that were living in it, they had left it. Where the hoisters to cry to the sea that roared to us to sigh to the winds, whose pity sang back again, did us but loving wrong. Mirinda, alack, what trouble was I then to you? So Mirinda said, what trouble was I then to you, Father? Because you kept me, you protected me, and you wanted me to be safe, and you had taken me with all this. Oh, a cherubim. A cherubim is a type of an angel. It's in the So thou was that did preserve me. He said, because of you that I am still alive today. Thou didst smile, infused with the fortitude from heaven, strength, fortitude, strength from heaven. Okay. When I have decked the sea with drops full salt, under my burthen ground which raised me, and undergoing stomach to bear up against what should ensure. So he said, I was preparing, you were preparing to face what was going to ensure with us. Now, this is a story from William Shakespeare. So, you learn the meanings. In the next class, I will give you the question answers. Why does Prospero call Antonio a false uncle? How did Antonio usurp his position? So, all this I will do in the next class. For now, today, I will say goodbye till we meet in the next class. Thank you.